In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Welcome to Rap in Order, the interrogation of a hip-hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip-hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand today.
Order in the court.
Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I am Taurian B. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, you know, Larry David said we can't say it after the 7th, but
okay,
that's what he said. But
okay.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I hope y'all had a happy New Year.
Yeah,
How about that?
It's our first episode back since the holiday.
Yeah, and so much has happened. Where would you like to start?
I'm a dad, guys, officially.
There you go. I was hoping you started with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
my baby boy is here, man. Maverick Bean Blakeney is his name. Yes, his middle name is Bean, like Coffee Bean.
And most importantly, like Kobe.
Yes, like Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
Legally, yeah, man, he is a little bundle of joy. He is a little bundle of joy. He is running my life. My house is pretty much his now.
Yeah, and he's changing every day.
Yeah. Every single day, like I look at him and I'm like, oh man, like he looks like Sarah. Oh man, he looks like me.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, dad life is interesting. Yes, I am not getting that much sleep. Sarah more so than me because she's breastfeeding. So sometimes, like there's nothing I can do. Like I can't, sometimes I just like wake up and I just be looking at her. She's like, go back to sleep.
But I know you're probably catching up on a lot of movies, a lot of.
So, all right, damn, I forgot the name of this. So we just watched this show with Coleman Domingo.
Shit, it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
it's on my list.
We finished the whole thing.
The name of it.
Yeah, like we finished the whole thing already, but it's really good. Let me see. Now I'm determined to get the name for it because like it is really good. The Madness. Yeah, that was
on my list.
Is not what you expect.
Okay.
Like it's a lot of like turns and like swerves and shit like that. And
I saw the trailer and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was good. I finished Yellowstone.
Okay.
That Kevin Costner not being on this season kind of like fucked a lot of things up, but still like I'm like, all right, cool. We're going like that show has like a bunch of spinoffs.
How many seasons is that?
I believe 5. Yeah, 5 seasons it capped off. With Kevin Costner leaving, now they have to like switch it up. So now they're veering off into like it's like the same world but like another town, and like so some of those characters are still appear and everything like that. Billy Bob Thornton has a TV show called Landman that is really good. And then also me and Sarah watch the show 911 with Angela Bassett. Oh
yeah, I think it's on ABC now.
Yeah, those people are always in turmoil, bro. Yeah, like no matter what, like they'll save somebody's life. Like there's one episode where the episode opens, it's a football game, and a male cheerleader is flipping down the field. The guy gets tackled, the kid gets hit. So they're like, oh man, he's okay, he's laying down. Then somebody yells out, yo, this kid is ass backwards. His torso got twisted around.
Oh, fuck.
So his ass was where like everything was just twisted. And then like apparently that has like that's not like made up. That has happened.
And what would make you yell that out is that's an asshole thing to do. Like this kid is ass backwards. That's fucked up. That's funny as hell. To yell that out in the moment.
Yeah, bro. Crazy. So
all right. Okay. I've heard good things about that.
Yeah. And then Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Very good. Finished that. And Mary Kingstown.
Sylvester Stallone never has a miss.
He has misses, but it's just that like nostalgically for us, we'll watch anything that he in. He got some misses.
Fact. I mean, like what though? What is he
Cobra sucked, bro. If you really
I fuck with Cobra.
Okay, let me say that. Cobra's a bad, good movie.
So I don't fuck with I don't fuck with, you know what? Because I remember when he did Cobra, he was supposed to be doing Beverly Hills Cop.
Yep.
And he picked Cobra over that. But I can't see him. He was trying to do essentially what he did in Cobra
and Beverly Hills Cop. It wouldn't have had as much humor. Yeah,
it's not the vision, and then he did that at the time. And what's the muscle face dude that's in Cobra? That's the villain.
It's well, what's funny is that he's also in 911 now as an old man. It's crazy. It bugged me
that's
out.
crazy.
Now,
That dude
with the craters
always
in
used
his
to
face.
scare me.
Yeah.
His face just this muscle face, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I used to always call him. This muscle face.
Yeah. The movie. Yeah. Now I gotta find like they
there
got
he is.
Brian Thompson. Yeah. Now old nigga.
Okay.
Yeah. Night Slasher.
Okay. But yeah, Cobra wasn't bad. The Specialist was my shit. Cliffhanger. He got a lot of numbers on the board.
I just want, well, when I think about it between him and Arnold, he owned the 90s and then Arnold took Sylvester owned the 80s and Arnold had better movies in the 90s.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Arnold caught that nigga.
Yeah.
Like walking down.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, man, like, yeah, like I just been like catching up on that stuff. I need to go to the movies. I don't know how we're gonna figure that one out, but we want to go to the movies because we want to see New Den of Thieves.
Oh, I want to see that too. The first one took me by surprise with how good it was.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy the first one. I was in the city running around before my trip to Detroit, and I was like, how about I just hop in the movie, see what's going on? I went to the movies and I saw Sonic 3. They had a showing.
I haven't seen any of the Sonic movies.
Yeah, you gotta. I think it's a really good trilogy so far. They 3 for 3 for sure.
Okay, I need to check it out. Like I haven't heard a bad thing about it. I just never got to seeing it.
I think if you grew up playing the Sonic video games, you'll be satisfied.
Okay,
like
good.
Especially because there was two types of kids that played Sonic. One, there was the kid that played it and followed the storyline, or that was the kid that played it and just got hype off of like the Need for Speed and Sonic and trying to collect rings and just playing the game to kind of just be absent-minded. So it kind of serves in both purpose, you know?
Okay.
So if you played with the idea of actually following the theme of the storyline, then you'll understand certain nuances in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that it pays tribute to. But it was good. I enjoyed it. And it's just funny that Jim Carrey retired, but these are the only movies that he decides to do.
That's dope.
Yeah. He's just like, no. I guess it's really fun for him, I guess. I don't know. Super random, but yeah.
Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. Why not?
So they got him.
Man. But yeah, in other news, I mean, a lot of stuff has happened in music over time. Kendrick and Drake still have their thing going. So now Joey Badass has joined the fray.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are unsure if he is dissing the West Coast or dissing Kendrick and TDE. I think that, in my personal opinion, I just think Joey's just putting his flag down, saying like basically just like saying, yo, like I'm nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that that's Joey's fault, not the fans' fault, for not noticing, not giving him that. Because even Joey has put out like great projects, like 1999 is something that was great. And he was on the come up. Like obviously he put that out when he was in high school.
Yeah.
But I think that because like his career took off acting, what was it, Mr. Robot, and then him being on Power.
Yeah. But even before that, I think what really put eyes on him was that Netflix short.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. So
I think Distant Strangers or something like that.
Right. So I think that like acting kind of like took over a lot of his time. So I just think like in rap, like I don't think he went overlooked. I just think that he hasn't acted because the most casual fan can't tell you what a single of his is.
Mm.
So I don't think that's on anybody's fault. But it is interesting. I would be interested to see if Kendrick's definitely going to say something back to him. But
you think so? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, nah.
I don't think so.
Too much West Coast saying
he does
doing a play on that whole verse. Too much West Coast dick licking, like.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get set. Ray Vaughn already responded from TD.
Yeah, and the thing with that is the Ray Vaughn thing was cool. It was good, but he's trying to make it more of a moment than what it was. Because Joey Badass, like him saying like too much West Coast dick licking, he kind of like moved on from that when you really listen to the song. You know, he has one Kendrick reference in there where he says just that boom bop thing like that. He says that whole scheme that Kendrick used, but I don't think he really stays on the Kendrick topic for long. I think it was just something to grab attention, which he did, but then it was to also just remind niggas like, yo, I really rap too. you know?
Oh, okay.
But you can't go after calculated niggas without a plan. So if he's going after him, I hope there's not all that we hear from him. He got to keep going. He got to say something else.
We'll see. I mean, he like you remember like days before that, like we saw a video of him having a fight.
Oh yeah, and held his own in the fight.
Yeah,
held his own.
Like you definitely tell Joey Badass has had a few fights, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have that. Then you have the whole Cameron, Jim Jones, and Mace and 50 Cent kind of discourse.
Yeah.
By the time, and I'm pretty sure we're recording on Sunday. Tomorrow's Monday. Cam and Mace will be back. I'm pretty sure we'll get some kind of response. Or
they're gonna have some smoke for Elliot. They're gonna have some smoke for a lot of people. Which is another topic I wanted to touch on a little bit. So I heard what Elliot said when he went to Rory and Maul's podcast. Elliot Wilson.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah, you don't think so?
They're a sports show.
Yeah, but his whole point was they're a sports show and they're supposed to be journalists. So Elliot's saying, like, what makes him a credible journalist?
He was literally on Rory and Maul show. What makes Rory and Maul a credible journalist?
Right.
Credible journalist.
Yeah.
Most people in those spaces, like Elliot probably has talked shit about, well, I can confidently say Elliot has probably talked shit about Rory and Maul. He's definitely talked shit about Joe Budden, but it's like he has to respect Joe Budden.
Mm-hmm.
I just think like Elliot is just pissed off because like that's kind of his MO. Like he had a monopoly on interviewing artists. And I think a lot of people just didn't like the politics of going through him or him being like the person that they had to talk to. And like now that there's other outlets, he doesn't like it because he's not the main source that people go to for that. No pun intended, main source. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, things change. And I think here's the difference. And I really genuinely thought about this. Most, former entertainers or rappers, they have a fan base already. So Nori, Gillian Wallow, Cam and Mace, Joe Budden, like they have fans. So their fans are going to like invest into whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, if Nori really did his Anthony Bourdain shit on the Run Eating, like that show he's supposed to do a Complex, people would have watched his show with him eating around the world. Like, I believe Nori filmed the first season, but they scrapped it. I was very invested in seeing him eat in different places, like Anthony Bourdain. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but
so I was understanding where he was coming from. It doesn't mean that I agree with it. Like I just understood it, but then it was like, my whole take on that whole thing, and it's always been every art form, everybody true to an art form gets challenged in some way, right? So I think we had a conversation like this before in a different way, but I was saying basically like, you can look at photographers, like you can ask a photographer how they probably felt about Instagram and how all of these things got normalized when they did. It probably was a challenge for them because it normalized photography in a way that had never been done before, where everybody feels like they're a photographer. And there's people that are being hired to be photographers that just have their iPhone off of iPhone photography,
True.
And it's like, now that's more normalized. So for photographers, they had to think and reinvent the wheel and think about a different way that gets them out of this box. And you look at journalism, it's the same thing. It's being normalized for people to just ask a bunch of quick hit questions and not actually do research like how a traditional journalist would do. I think we just see it in multiple ways. Like music, the way people make music now is different, everything. And I think Elliot just doesn't like the art form being challenged instead of just turning and keep going with it. And I don't know if he wants to be a heel right now or if he's just playing that role. I don't know. It just doesn't
That's
look
Elliot.
like.
That's Elliot's role. I think Elliot, and then I think because, in hip hop, it's hard, as much as people try to gatekeep, it's hard to gatekeep in hip hop because there's so many ways around it. So many people get let in. There's so many things that happen. And I think, Elliot sees his other peers that are writers in other genres of music. And they're kind of allowed to stick with it. You won't, even though hip hop is the most popular genre, if you look at other genres, you don't see other people just stepping in to becoming rock and roll journalists or other, I guess it's similar to how a lot of the Stephen A. Smiths feel about NBA players becoming journalists now. When Stephen A. Smith and Draymond Green kind of went through that for a little while. But I mean, Stephen A. had to just accept it. Like, players want to talk to other players. Like, they just want to kind of control their narratives and stuff like that. And some of them are doing the work and like doing what they need to do. And then some of them are just like, yo, give me a microphone. That's it.
There's everybody that feels a certain, and that's just the gravitational pull of like where we're heading, where everything is being simplified, every art form, every way that people reach, the internet just did that in general. It made everything that all these people went to school for years and years to come. Now it's just like, but I can hop on YouTube University and just learn exactly what you learned. And people feel away. But I think Elliot just needs to get out of his feelings a little bit and just learn how to reinvent.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. Otherwise, like, let's see. Beyonce performed at the halftime show for the NFL. Right? During Christmas, and it was on Netflix. A lot of people had a lot of speculation because she released a Cowboy Carter album, and like she did nothing, no videos, no visuals. She didn't even, I think like she did a GQ spread, but like it was kind of like phoned in, literally.
Email, yeah.
Right. So I watched it, and it seemed like a Beyonce performance. And like I had to ask myself, is the Queen becoming like what to like expect? Like it's not like as exciting because it's like like she's gonna do something innovative and something cool, but it's kind of becoming like routine. Like it's not something where I'm like blown away by Beyonce anymore.
Mm-hmm. So do you have Beyonce fatigue?
Not fatigue. It's just that there are artists where like what to expect. So you like, all right, cool. Like I know like she's gonna come out, she's gonna perform like the basis of the song, and then like she's gonna like add in a little something. She's gonna dance, and it's just gonna be like this big thing. But it's like, and I've also been to a lot of Beyonce concerts. I think that's also a bias for me, but I'm not as like blown away by Beyonce as I have been in the past. I don't know if it's fatigue or it's just like this is becoming like the norm. Like, okay, she's like, I know it's gonna be great, but like I'm not like I don't feel like it's like something new every single time I see it, and it's like I don't know why, but I do think like after seeing that Jelly Roll interview on Flagrant 2, like I'm just like, damn, like I wonder like has Beyonce become such like a big brand where like now like nothing is a surprise, even though it's supposed to be a surprise, it's not a surprise.
Got you. I think what would fix that though is if she becomes human again.
She had a shot to become human.
If Beyonce just it would have to be somebody so highly coveted. Imagine she sits down with Elliott Wilson. He would not shut up about that for the next 10 years.
I think Angie Martinez would be a better person.
That would be so great.
Yeah.
And not even just on some like woman to woman, but I think Angie has a way of talking to people and making them feel so comfortable. If she just goes on a podcast, just talk.
Yeah, I agree. I think Beyonce going on a I mean, obviously, like for her of her status now, I guess like it will either be like Gayle King or Oprah or damn, what's the lady's name that works at NBC and she just survived cancer? I can't think of her name right now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're a legend.
Is it like Katie Couric?
No, not she's a black woman.
Oh,
she's the same one.
I know what you're talking about. Robbins. Shit, I have her face. She has short hair. Yeah. Damn. I'm sorry. I let y'all down.
Yeah, let y'all down. But yeah, like Beyonce's best chance to become human again was after the Lemonade album.
Yeah.
And she kind of like just dove. I mean, I respect it. She dove back into her family. Like, she don't owe a shit. But now, like, like people just people don't trust Beyonce, man.
You know what's funny? Like with the vast way that the world moves, Lemonade was 2016. Lemonade could not come out today and the masses forgive Jay-Z.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. That just couldn't happen.
And they still try to get it off, not forget it.
That just could not happen. But back then, I remember Lemonade coming out and people being like, all right, girl, like do I break up with my man too? Like, what am I doing? Tell me what to do. That's what people were saying online.
It's funny when
because the HBO movie came.
Yeah, when I met Sarah, she had stopped being a Beyonce fan because of the Lemonade album. I'm so glad that I was able to get her to a point where like she understood it.
Yeah,
but she was not happy with that turnout that Beyonce chose to do.
Last thing on a Beyonce topic. So we're a couple days shy away from the 14th, which is her big announcement. What do you think it's going to be?
World tour.
You think so?
Well, there's US tour, then world tour.
There's like conspiracy theories and stuff, and people have broken this shit down. I think tour too, but I think somebody said something like it can be a partnership with somebody because they zoomed in on when she waves the flag in the promo, and they noticed that the flag is waving under something. There's like a blacked out title of some sort there. So there's like some type of partnership.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And some people are like, "Oh, this is signifying the end of the Cowboy Carter era because she puts the flag down and we put the American flag down. That means that you're waving the end of something." People really, really digging.
I hope we get like the funk rock and roll album.
Well, I think that era is next. I just don't know when.
Right.
I do think that's next. That'd be fly. Mm-hmm. That'd be fly. And then it's like, all right, well, how much you gonna do until you Bruno Mars? Because Bruno Mars be doing the same shit. He just digs into different eras.
I mean, I feel like, I think after the third act, like we ain't gonna see her for a long time.
I think I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with it too.
I'm cool with that.
Go into your Diana Ross era. You just coming out of war shows and just look fabulous.
Yeah, I love Beyonce, but I just think that her level of excellence is so top tier. I don't want her amazing performances to just be diluted to people and just be like, well, yeah, it's just Beyonce. And it's like, yeah, nah, but this is amazing.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, because I watched the Netflix performance in real time. Then I was at. And then when they put it on as a separate special, I watched that and I was like, oh my God, this shit is incredible. Like, this is really good. Like, granted, I'm not the biggest fan of Cowboy Carter, but that's what level of performer she is. Whereas like, you don't care about the music. You just want to
see the spectacle. Yeah.
Want to see her perform. And she gives it everything.
It's a lot, bro. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we shall see. All right. And, speaking of Beyonce, that can take us right into today's album. Like that transition.
Mm-hmm.
So today's album, what can I say about this legend other than, been in the game since 96, heralded as one of the greatest MCs of all time, arguably so. And this album that we're doing today is his 13th. It was released in 2017. The album arrived after a 4-year hiatus and was just 2 weeks after his induction in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Jay-Z. And we're talking about Sean Corey Carter and his album 444 is what we're getting into today, which was produced entirely by No ID. This album came on the heels of some very subtle promo, right? Like, I remember the billboards in the city that didn't really say much. Like, it kind of had like this neutral type color to it, and
that burnt orange.
Yeah, and it just said 444. That was like popping up everywhere with no name attached. And then closer to the release date, it started saying it's his 13th album, And I'm like, oh shit, Hov is dropping. Then we had a date. And then it came out, and I remember listening to it for the first time, like in real time. I think we were like texting in real time when this was coming out. Yeah. It's like, holy shit. All right, let's dig into this. And this was coming off, obviously, the elevator incident. So we wanted to know what Jay-Z would say. This was after Lemonade. He was in an interesting place. He was in a place where he was forced to be vulnerable, right?
Yep.
So he got in his bag. What do you remember about this time?
I remember I was I was very like invested because like it was just like, yo, did he cheat? Like, who's Becky with the good hair? Like, it was like very salacious, like trying to find out like what he was going with. And then remember, like he had like these amazing like short films that he shot for like each video. Shout out to Shaka Pilgrim because she was the person who headed up a lot of that, right? And like it was just all of these like short films that like you saw. And like I remember my favorite one was for the La La Land video.
Oh yeah,
that was when basically they did Black Friends. And like everybody was like, yo, I would love to see this
whole cast,
as Black Friends.
Carmichael, Issa Rae, Tiffany Haddish,
Lakeith Stanfield, right? So like, yeah, it was a dope ensemble, right? And then I believe for Family Feud, if I'm not mistaken, Michael B. Jordan was in right?
And Trevante Rhodes,
and Trevante Rhodes, so
and Tandy Newton,
like so there were some cool ones, and then like we saw like these like behind the scenes like conversations. And like it was one where like I think Jay had like Will Smith there, and like it was all like Jay's people.
Oh yeah.
And damn, I forgot what the conversation was about. And like how Will Smith like kind of like expresses himself, but like they were just talking about like scandals that they've had and stuff like that, and things like they had to do to like become men. And then like it was one of the first times that like if you're a Jay-Z fan, Tata, and like you were like hearing like Tata pretty much talk about like being a family man, and like you saw Chris Paul like was just there, like and you're finding out like, yo, like Jay-Z just hangs out with Chris Paul, like you're learning that like Jay-Z's like friends with like a lot of like other celebrities that you wouldn't think of, and like seeing these conversations and recordings. Jesse Williams, like that's who like had like a really like in-depth interview, because he was going through a huge divorce and custody battle with his daughters, and like how pretty much his wife, he was expressing how his ex-wife, like doesn't trust him to be alone with his own daughters. And it was just like insightful to just see men having conversations and like from their perspective. Usually men don't talk about their feelings and things like that. Like the build up to this album actually was like a bigger deal to me than when we got the album. Obviously I got the album and I enjoyed it and I loved it, but there was so much that went into seeing this. Like I remember like there was a shot of Mahershala Ali like boxing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this for? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's so much stuff that was left on the cutting room floor that they filmed and that they did.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm just like, damn, man, like I would love to just like somehow Jay just like let the archives go and just like let all of that shit out.
I think everything about this album, with the way that it was released, everything was super subtle because the message itself was already powerful, right? And it was all on the back of him coming off of this scandal, and us seeing Jay-Z look the most vulnerable that he's ever looked, right? So I think with the promo, all of it was super short, super dark, super monotone. The production of it is stripped down. The bass lines is just not as much. They're not too crazy. It's all about hearing his voice and hearing the messaging. As I was digging into it, because I'm like, okay. Because at first I had like my gripes with the album because the music I just felt like wasn't turned up enough. I was like, like they could turn this up more, like, and I'll get into why when we dig into the album. But yeah, I agree. Like I remember the promo, and I'm pretty sure they definitely left some stuff on the cutting room floor.
Right.
They didn't explore nearly as much as they could have. I feel like they got a lot of what they wanted, and he was like, yeah, nah, we don't need to put this out.
Yeah, less is more. It seems like, right?
Yeah.
So like, do you think that this album fits in his discography?
It comes at a weird time, but it fits. I think it rounds out his discography in a way that I don't think if he ever makes another album again, this will be fine.
I can agree with that. I think that this was like a turning point.
Yeah.
Like, especially like, okay, like the first song, Kill Jay-Z. I think that like he really had to like let go of the persona that he created in the 90s, because like he was like, I'm a family man. Like I don't want to lose my family. Like, and like a lot of things that I think he was doing was to like keep up for the public eye.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he had a realization that like there's so many other things that are more important than being Jay-Z, Iceberg Slim, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jigga Man. And I think that like he realized like I'm still the man. I'm still Jay-Z. I don't have to have this persona and, you know, affect my family, my children because of my kids. Like they don't give a damn. I'm just my kids.
Yeah. I think, and I agree. I think this is something that when we talked about this before, like in 2012, Nas released Life is Good. And what he was trying to do with that album was basically what Jay-Z did. This is Jay-Z's version of that. But like Life is Good explored, you know, Nas's heartache and pain with coming off of the hills of his divorce from Khalees. And, you know, this one isn't necessarily a divorce album, but this is like a vulnerable moment in the same sense where there's heartache, you know, and there's pain here. So I think what Jay-Z did, he was probably inspired by some of that. It's hard. It'd be impossible for him to say like, I heard that album and I wasn't inspired in some way, I think.
Of course. And I think also like, there are like other, like definitely Nas Life is Good. Like I remember before, like I wasn't on board with that, but like, I mean, come on, like it's obvious. I think that, there was a Lenny Kravitz project because he went through a breakup as well. I forgot the name of the project, but I think that also kind of like inspires Jay. Like with me, like diving into it, like and like learning how close him and Lenny Kravitz are, and like how close he is with Denzel Washington. Like they're like really good friends, which is fucking like it's cool as hell. But it's like, damn, you wouldn't think that these guys would be so cool on that level. But like, you know, when you get older, you find yourself being friends with people that when you were younger, you probably wouldn't have been seen that much with. But as you get older, like, you know, certain things just you like, hey, I got a wife, I got kids, like, you know, they all have at least daughters at that time. Like, so it just makes sense or whatever like that. They're from New York City. Lived in New York. Lenny's from LA, but like they all like, you know, lived in New York City during a specific time. So they kind of had things to like, you know, and they're fucking millionaires. Yeah. So like, you know, like I think like that was pretty interesting to like see. And like, with Jay-Z, you know, also like, yes, he was talking about like his infidelity and everything like that, but also on this album, he talked about, generational wealth.
Yeah.
Building like money, like building like a legacy. And remember, like there were so many people that were like upset because like he was talking about the money phone, holding the money phone up to the air. And like rappers was like, fuck it, like I like doing that. Like, you know, and it was just like, it was going over their heads what Jay-Z was trying to express. He was just like, yo, like, you know how many rappers go broke? Like, I'm not hating on you. I'm just telling you, like, yeah, I'm the reason why you do it.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm telling you that, like, I've seen my peers that were way more successful than me, like, die broke.
Yeah,
like,
and not even, not have that money.
Right. You know, and like, I think that like for some artists, like they just felt threatened by it because, you know, some dudes, like they just have the mentality that they have and that's not going to change. And I think that he was trying to really like push forward, like, hey, like, you know, like there's a bunch of secrets out here and they're not letting us know. And I'm telling you, like, these are things that we can do. Just like, you know, story of OJ, like, you know, he had the controversial line saying like he could have bought a condo for a certain amount in Dumbo and then he did it and now it's selling for like millions in Dumbo.
Yeah. I think, and I think when Jay-Z, especially the later half of his career, when he quote unquote disses somebody, it's just for the overall message and not to slight. Not to slight them, it's for the overall, like when he said in the future, other niggas playing football with your son, it's a great flip, right? Cause it's just like, it's a reality check for him. Cause it's like, yo, let me get my shit together. This what Future got going on. No offense to that. I mean, if he cool with that, he cool with that, but that's not what I want for myself.
Yeah. I don't want to see my son.
I don't want to see my son playing with somebody else because I didn't step up and do what I had to do.
Tom Brady would definitely slide in.
That's a fact. So I think, it's like, hey, nigga, the Future, if you cool Russell Wilson carrying on with your kid with Future Jr. like this, I mean, so be it. That's on you, but that's not what I want for myself.
Yeah.
And he's just using that to drive his message. It's not about, and it's just a cool bar.
Yeah.
He got that shit off.
It was a cool bar. Also, you know, he helped, like he allowed his mom to like come out of the closet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like she was able to like kind of like be herself and like Jay like talk about that. And that was like interesting because you would think that somebody as private as Jay-Z kind of like wouldn't, but I guess it was important because like, you know, he was happy that his mother was in love. Like, cause ideally, like I would think like after like his mom and dad broke up, like he probably didn't see his mother like in relationships too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that like, you know, it was just something that he was just really happy about. And then him being the youngest, he probably got to see his mother and father together the least of all of the siblings. So, you know, find out that his mother's in love probably just made him like so happy that he just wanted to share with everybody. Like,
especially, because I want to say he found out, like he didn't always, it wasn't like a known thing for years prior to this, was it?
I don't know. It wasn't.
Okay.
So like, that's what I'm saying. Like finding out like that your mom is just in love. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit. Like you don't think about anything else. You just like, yo, my parent is happy. Like as a person, or whatever like that. Cause that's, you know, sometimes like you just want your parent to be happy. So
yeah,
you know, I think that was pretty cool. Like that kind of resonated with me. Like,
it's a lot of growth, man. Smile for that reason is one of my favorite. It's a top 2 song on this album for me. For the vulnerability of that and that clean ass Stevie Wonder sample. That sample is just so clean.
Oh man, yeah, I enjoyed that.
One of my favorite Stevie songs too.
Right, and then let's see, one other thing that I wanted to talk about. Right, is Jay-Z the king of soul samples?
Like of rapping over them?
Yeah, rapping over them. Yeah.
You know, it's a good argument because he kind of set the palette for Blueprint, right? Like he's the one that kind of Kanye helped him highlight it in a way. Yeah, maybe he is. Never thought about it before.
Yeah, I just think that like his choices, like there's some rappers that do it, but like that's kind of like Jay-Z's, like, you know, that's in his wheelhouse, like getting a soul sample and like really like getting the best out of it and like making something of it. Like I really feel like and maybe this is just me being biased, I feel like Fabulous had a really good shot at it, but like I don't know why he could never stay on fucking playing with the soul tapes.
Yeah.
Doing that. I feel like he really could have tapped into that. And it's like that mixtape. So it's not like you need sample clones since they were mixtapes. They were free. But like it would seem like he would do like 1 or 2 and then like then he would just like go into like original production or like other people's beats. And it's like, I'm like, these aren't all soul beats. And maybe I just was like holding on to that, but like that's what I really wanted to see Fab lean into.
Who else can you think about though in that? I'm trying to think of somebody else that like really does rapping over soul samples justice.
That does rapping. I mean, well, Kanye, but Kanye isn't a better rapper than Jay-Z, but like Kanye, Freddie Gibbs. I'm trying to think of like some other artists and why is it not like coming to me like immediately, and it's kind of Ghostface Killer.
Yeah. Ghostface for sure.
Ghostface Killer like does really good like picking, like he's because he had such a love for that era, like he definitely like he really really loves like the Motown era. So like he does really good with like soul samples and stuff like that. Like I if I'm not mistaken, there are certain songs that were supposed to be for him that were on Blueprint that went to Jay.
Okay.
I think it was Girls. Ghostface Killer was supposed to get from Just Blaze and Jay took it. But like I think Ghostface is probably like probably has like a very good argument for like the way that he approaches soul sampling.
Agreed. Okay. I'll think about that some more.
Yeah, it's a good one,
I think
right?
that's some good ones. Let's see here. Caught Their Eyes. Is this the last Frank Ocean feature?
I feel like he's been on Tyler projects.
Yeah, background type stuff, but I'm talking about full on featuring Frank Ocean.
Feels like it.
Yeah.
Feels like it. Seems like it.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, this was good. I think I like the messaging of the second verse where he said he sat down with Prince eye to eye and Prince actually told him like, yo, this is what I want and this is what I don't want. Which I'm assuming he sat down with Prince because they were trying to see what to do with his stuff.
With his vault and Paisley Park.
Yeah.
That was really disappointing because that means that like his estate didn't follow his wishes, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah.
right? Or they were saying that like he was speaking to Jay-Z under duress or something like that, like where like he wasn't in his, you know, because they were saying like, well, Prince was on medicine and, you know, medication and whatever. But if that's what he said he wanted, and like Jay-Z was getting the permission to do it, I don't see what the big deal is, especially like as meticulous as Prince was with his music and ownership of his music. It's kind of disappointing that that wasn't the case, and Prince wasn't very trusting, like at all. So it just is very like, so it's very like odd to me that his estate didn't kind of roll with it or allow that, and you know, shit happens, but that was very like odd to me. All right, let's stay on Caught Their Eyes, right? Like, because that song, like, it details like loyalty and betrayal, and like just talking about that. And I think like that's kind of like now, like if you look at Jay-Z's circle and everything like that, it's kind of funny to me because a lot of people say like Jay-Z has changed so much, but like the narratives of his albums have always been the same. Him talking about like his friends, him and his circle. His circle might look a little different from when we got introduced to him in Reasonable Doubt, right?
Yeah.
But that's kind of the theme of all of his albums. And also, some people might say I'm reaching, but like he's always talked about financial literacy to some extent. Now is more mature.
It's more mature. There's more money.
Right. There's more money, right? So he's kind of always like talked about those topics, and then as like basically he was more misogynistic earlier on, but now like, you know, he's a married man, he's a father, like he's more of a family man. So now like the misogyny is kind of like gone, and that's what Kill Jay-Z was for. And now he is more of just talking about like, yo, being a man is like coming home every night to your family, being to your kids, like doing things with your children and shit like that. Like, you know, like on damn, what song is it? Fuck. Where he keeps saying like he was feeding his kids liquid gold.
Like that's Family Feud.
Yeah, on Family Feud, you know, and basically saying like, yo, this shit really worked. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I think that like it's a realization for him, because it was like this wasn't something that was available to him before, like therapy, doing those things. And like I'm pretty sure like if Jay-Z is the man that I think he is, I bet you like The Sopranos made him cool with therapy. Seeing Tony Soprano go to talk about it.
Probably, yeah, I could see that. I think, yeah, I could see that. Because I don't think it's something that he would explore on his own. He would have probably had to have been inspired by something, you know, in typical rapper form, and make it fly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess, all right, so we already like getting into the album, right? So I wanted to talk about Story of OJ. Because with Story of OJ, like the video was dope, right? Because it was cartoon and like it introduced Jay-Z's like, you know, caricature J-Bo.
Yeah.
And like it caused so much like despair, because like, you know, like you have OJ Simpson, like, and like this was on the heels of the FX series, right?
Yeah. People versus OJ.
Yeah, right. And so like basically is Jay-Z like, you know, saying like, you know, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that became like a line for people just to say.
Yeah.
Then, you know, obviously him ruffling the feathers of the Jewish community, and like Jay-Z put that fire out real quick. Like really quick. Like, and it's just funny, like I always say this, like everybody always says things and then Kanye says it and Kanye just makes it worse.
Yeah, because
I feel like, I think it's so funny because I feel like, yo, a lot of things Kanye say, other people agree. And I feel like Kanye be in those conversations and then he just be like, all right, I'm gonna go say something. They'll be like, nah, you don't gotta say something.
Yeah.
And then he goes and says it and be like, Jay, back, tell him what we talked about. And Jay be like,
Nah, I'm not in that.
Yeah. So, you know, like I just always thought that Story of OJ was kind of like very significant, because like the timing of it was just like fucking brilliant, and like it just made sense. Like it just worked.
Yeah, transforming your successes into something bigger, and you know, not losing a chance to see beyond your wallet in a moment. And like this is the Dumbo line, especially, that you talked about. So yeah, just knowing that no matter how big you get, the world is never gonna let you forget about the color of your skin. When they have the moment So it's like, yeah. So lean into it. Lean into your blackness. So like, even the OJ thing, when he said that back in the day, it was a thing.
Right.
So imagine if he said that at current time, like how that would have went off.
Right. That it was like a big deal. So, now I guess we could just talk about like the title track. 4:44. Like Jay-Z gives the whole story. I do not believe that he woke up at 4:44 a.m. and went and wrote to the song that No ID gave him. I don't believe it, bro.
I believe it.
I don't fucking believe it.
He said it a lot of times.
Yeah, of course he did.
No idea said it. He said it. I think this album was very much stream of consciousness in the flow pattern and the way that it was created. I think he legit woke up, not purposely, obviously, woke up in the middle of the night. It's like, all right, well, I have this.
Angel numbers.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's time.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he did it. Okay. I have no reason to not believe that he woke up in the middle of the night.
All right,
and decided to do this. And it's Jay-Z. He has an amazing studio in his crib.
Oh yeah.
So he walked in the studio and he was like, yeah, I need to do this. Even in the structure of the song is written like a poem. The I apologize after every couple bars, and the way that is like broken down. The instrumental, like when he said he called No ID and he told him what he was doing and he told him what he was inspired by. I think Hear My Dear was one of them, one of his inspirations, the Marvin Gaye album. So like him getting into this pocket, I can believe it.
So the sample, the Hannah Williams sample, I love that song. Like I've become a fan of that artist, and like I just like it. Just really like that song like speaks to you because even though it's a sample, I'm like, yo, it feels like he got that woman to come in the studio and record with him, and it just sounds really really good. And I'm just like, yo, like this is like something that like has never been like. I'm not gonna say never, but like this is like of its significance. Like imagine if like other rappers who like, got in trouble for infidelity or cheating on their wives, like came out and like gave like these apologies. Like obviously like they rather than not cheat, but like think about that. Like this is J fucking Z, Mr. Ladies Man, Mr. Big Pimpin', admitting that he had to beg his wife. Like granted, like it's Beyonce, like everybody should beg Beyonce to come back, but still like this is Jay-Z, like the coldest man walking. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and nigga said, I told you don't embarrass me. That's how we went steady.
Yeah. Like, like, oh man, he got ate up for that shit. Yeah. That was, you know what I'm saying? Cause like women, that
was your 21st birthday.
Yeah. Like, like that was people just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, and think about that. Like she is a platinum selling Grammy winning artist at 21 from Destiny's Child. And like, he's like, yo, don't embarrass me. And it's just like, you old fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like who are you?
But could you understand why he would say that?
Of course, because like basically like at that time he was unfortunately he was giving her the opportunity. He was giving her status in a way or whatever like that, because, she was stepping away kind of like from her father into his arms. And I know this sounds really weird. It sounds like grooming. And this is not what we're talking about, guys. But, like that's just.
I understand why he said it, because she's 21. She's a platinum selling artist. She's one of the hottest artists out there. It can be an insecurity on his part that he would say that, yes. But at the same time, there's an expectation there that she about to be outside. She's 21 and she's super fucking popular.
Right. So don't be up in niggas' faces.
Yeah. Don't
be too extra.
There's going to be that opportunity that media is going to try to pull you towards somebody. And with us going steady, that could be embarrassing. Now imagine she has a moment like how Megan Good had with Michael Ealy in front of Jonathan Majors.
Right. Okay. I get what you're saying there. Like, cause all right, let's dive deeper. She appeared in the Nas, You Owe Me video, right? So like that means they were friendly. She was featured on 50 Cent's album, and she was featured on Cameron's album.
Yeah.
So I'm not, obviously, like, this is just hypothetically, but let's say they were all out and like Beyonce jumps into one of their arms.
Yeah.
That, like, I get what you're saying.
I think, and that's what it is. Rappers, when you're popular enough, at least, I mean, back then, at least, and I guess now, the flame is being reignited in a way, but back then and now, when you're popular enough, rappers are always looking for ammo. So you kind of always have to be on guard. So when you have some type of vulnerability, people are poking at that, so she was the ultimate person to poke at because it was Beyonce and she was really, really popular. He was Jay-Z and he was really, really popular. So it kind of just all would have landed in that way.
Right.
Okay. But I think getting back to the crust of this album, 444, the song, you say it's the most vulnerable moment of his career?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Before that, it was Song Cry.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was Lucky Me. Yeah, Lucky Me and Song Cry were probably like his most like honest, like vulnerable songs. And then like we got this song and like I listened to that song a ridiculous amount of times, man, because it was just like, it was something like that. Just, it didn't resonate with me because I'm not cheating, but I listened to it and I just really enjoyed it and thought that the message that Jay-Z was delivering was something incredible.
Yeah, and him saying like, yo, like failed pregnancies and because your body wasn't present. I mean, I wasn't present.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. The amount of shit that he gave up on here. I just feel like with how the internet is so heightened now, never got away with this album. People would have been calling this a tell-all album now.
Yeah.
That's what they would call this now.
Yeah, like he put it out at the perfect time, like right before all of that started happening.
Yeah.
Like this kind of probably sparked what all of that like came with that, right? So then let's talk about Family Feud, where Beyonce is on the backing vocals.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like that was kind of like everyone saying like, we're good, guys.
Yeah. Reconciliation.
Yeah. Like, we're good. Like, and like, I enjoy how the shit just, how the song like opened. And I was just like, damn, like, this is great. Like Jay-Z opening it, talking to Emery. Like you could tell Emery gets Jay-Z hype when he walks into a room. You could tell like Emery's like spirit and like his energy and like, his fit, like you could tell that every time Emery walks into a room, Jay is like, nah, you don't got on the, like you could tell like anytime he see Emery, like he's like peeping something or whatever like that, like, man, my man is fly. Like,
yeah, man, because if you've been a Jay-Z fan, you can remember from Kingdom Come when Emery was still locked up.
Yeah.
And he's talking and giving him all these promises of what's going to happen when he gets out of jail. And so to see him now, with him running things at Puma, and him having like that steady income and just being on some fly shit now. He came a long way, man. And him being one of those solid dudes that he had in his corner throughout the whole thing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like,
but, Family Feud is an important moment on this album too. It's a moment that people, if there was any speculation about what's going on with them and whether or not they're still together, if they're working it out, case closed.
Right. There's a blemish on this song though.
What is it?
I'll be damned if I drink Belvedere while Puff got so out.
Oh yeah.
That's a blemish.
It is.
That's a blemish, and then also like it also makes it seem crazy with Jay-Z's lawyer saying like him and Puff weren't. I wouldn't say that they were best friends, but them niggas was friends. I don't care what you.
I think it was all optics. It's all.
I think that like as people have friends. They was friends. They was friends. I'm not saying they were best friends. I'm not saying that like, but no, like they were friends and like they were peers that like respecting each other. Like I refuse to believe that, they spent time together. I don't think that like, they were friends like Jay and Tata are friends. So it's just like defining like, what do you call somebody? Like I wouldn't say that he was just a fucking colleague to Jay.
Yeah.
I think that Jay considered Puff a friend. But I don't think that Jay was involved with a lot of shit that Puff did. I think he was aware of what. I think that Jay-Z was aware of Puff's lifestyle, and I wasn't for Jay. So Jay just let his friend be his friend. I'm not saying that like he knew that he was beating the shit out of Cassie or like drugging people or doing all the shit with the baby, or but he knew that nigga Puff was a freak. Like you gotta think about it.
He's like, time to go.
Think about it. Like even if him and Jay-Z weren't best friends, they've known each other over 30 years.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how much you don't want to know about a person. You know somebody for 30 years, you're gonna learn things about that person.
Yeah.
Like it just happens. Like it just in conversation and like seeing things like gossip. Like people gossip, people pillow talk. Like I
think at the same time, Jay-Z is just familiar with the optics of how things look, where it's like we're two black billionaires in the same genre, right? So it's like this looks better for us to be side by side with each other.
Mm-hmm.
The photo ops look even better because we're black, successful billionaires.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, this goes along with his motive that he's trying to push on this album where it's support black businesses.
Right.
And I'm not about to be drinking Belvedere when homie has when he's black and he has his own vodka. I can just drink that and support a black man. It's just all about upholding the
I just know he wishes that he had that bar back.
Yeah, for sure. I
know he wishes that.
Luckily, it's just the ad lib. I mean, it's just him talking. It's not really bars.
Yeah. So, Bam is my favorite song on the album.
Okay. All right. So Bam is a missed opportunity, I think.
Okay, let's hear it because I love Bam.
Bam is great. I think Bam had the potential. I think this album, when I revisited it, I think it plays out better on vinyl. I feel like it's made to be played on vinyl.
And there is no official vinyl.
Which is crazy because I think when you listen to it,
I wish I had that.
None of the songs on here really knock. None of the songs have knock to them. It's all about listening and consuming what Jay-Z is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that plays so well on vinyl. And it's kind of why I go back and forth with even having those gritty rap records on vinyl, because it's not really made to like really, it won't give you that thump like that, like it'll play out smoothly. So smooth records always work a lot better for vinyl in my opinion. But I think this album, listening to it on like digital, is just like, this don't really knock the way I want it to. And Bam is one of those. It don't have a knock to it that I think it deserves. So like when I first heard it, I thought it would be as big as PSA. It had the potential to be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
like all that Sean Carter shit.
Yeah.
Go,
yeah. It felt like a big moment. And I never got to see him perform this song live.
Yeah.
So I didn't see how it would go.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Cause
It just, and I know, of course, he did it on the 444 tour.
Yeah, I didn't go to 444. Yeah. So I went to the On the Run 2 tour.
Mm-hmm.
And what the fuck else did he do? He had a performance somewhere else, and I saw him perform, but he did not perform Bam, and it made me sad.
Yeah, I think like PSA is such a crutch in his catalog, like to the point where like Just Blaze opens all his sets with it, and whenever Jay-Z does a show, he does PSA or he comes out to PSA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Bam, I was like, yo, when Bam came out, I was like, yo, Bam could replace PSA and be that song that he opens with. And then he can kind of do PSA in the middle of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the song. The song is great.
Love it.
Yeah, it's a great song.
So let's see. Moonlight was pretty funny because like, if I'm not mistaken, like he was inspired, but remember that year at the Oscars, Moonlight won the award, but like they said La La Land won it. Mm-hmm. And like that was like such like a weird situation because it's like, how do you mess that up?
Yeah. I wanted to see that. Did the envelope actually say, how did they?
I forgot, bro. Like it don't like a lot of shit was going on that year. Cause remember Steve Harvey also like messed up.
Was that the same year?
It was around this. It was like within like 18 months of each other.
Crazy.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like it was so much stuff going on, man. I don't know what was happening in the Illuminati, but like people was just fucking up.
The readers just assumed that it was gonna go to La La Land and didn't even read the card.
I don't know, bro.
Nuts.
But yeah, that was something else like that like messed me up. And earlier I said the song was La La Land. No, he references La La Land. The song's name is Moonlight. I just wanted to correct myself for that. But yeah, I enjoyed Moonlight, right? And then we have Marcy Me, which is like a beautiful ode to where he's from.
Yeah, this is the best song on the album to me.
It's a great song, and I think
amazing flow. He sounds so good on this.
I would have loved to like been the person that worked this album because I don't think that they worked this album well at all.
Mm-mm.
Like they didn't, and
But I think it was intentional.
you
They
think it
did
was
it that
intentional?
way, yeah, because it's such a vulnerable album. You don't want to pop up talking about this album everywhere.
True, but I'm not even talking about like Jay-Z doing interviews. I'm just saying like it wasn't worked on radio well enough, in my opinion. Like this album was like an album that could have got played on like alternative radio stations, like where it's not even like where rap isn't like even regularly played. Like there's certain songs on here that I think some people just aren't aware of, and like I'm like, yeah, like this should be played. Like I remember I played this album around my uncle, and he was like. And I was like, that's from the 444 album. He was like, you know what? I saw promotion for the album, but I couldn't tell you one song off of it. Like, and I like Jay-Z does a thing now where like, you know, pretty much like he gets like a brand or a company to like buy into the album. He's already platinum before the first day and shit like that.
I think he did that with this.
He did. And like, I think that's like a lost art. Like, I think that Jay should actually try to, work this album. I really think this album should have got work. There's really like beautiful songs on this album. Obviously, this was originally on Tidal first before it was on other DSPs and all of that stuff. I just feel like he kind of does a disservice to his work.
Yeah, I think he did that with Sprint for this album. It was Sprint.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. Sprint don't even fucking exist no more.
Yeah, I know, which is crazy. Rest in peace, it's Sprint.
Yeah, man. Like it's just yeah, man.
But yeah, so I think, and then this album rounds out with Legacy. You can hear Blue Daddy, What's a Will? That's how she starts it off.
Yeah.
And then he, the laid back tone of him rapping was some of the best that I've heard from him. He just kind of it's like he's rapping from a rocking chair. Like he's just sitting there just talking about legacy and how important it is to uphold it. One of his shining moments by far, one of his best moments.
It is like it's just something where I'm like, yo, like he really like worked on a project. I think I would like to think like I know that his mother and like his older relatives have probably been proud of him, but I think like 444 probably made them the most proud.
I think so too. And it's hard to his mom probably cried listening to this album.
Of course, had to.
Like she's such a big part of it too. Listening to Jay-Z from 96 to 2017, that's a long time to be with one artist and to be invested in one artist's growth. And Hov has a way of finding a way to tell you the same type of story, but this one was so good because he didn't have to like revisit any type of stories. This was all forward thinking. This is all forward thinking, and I think that's what's so special about this album.
Agreed. Like Jay really hit his stride with this project, and that's why like I'm kind of hoping that we get a new project. I think after Beyonce finishes up like whatever run she's going on, I think that we'll get a new Jay-Z project. I feel like he probably has like albums just like sitting. I do think that he regularly records, but I would really like to like hear what Jay-Z has to say like now, and
he has a lot of material now.
Of course, yeah.
A lot
to talk about, yeah. So, we'll see. I feel like Jay-Z's next record is probably gonna be very political.
Maybe, and it's gonna be personal too, coming off of this whole the case thing and the
Oh man,
when they get that settled the way they properly want to, this shit probably held some things back because he probably was gonna drop some at some point.
You're probably right about that.
Yeah, so we'll see, man. But let's get to these ratings. I think Maverick got a rating too.
This is one of those unique ratings for me, right? Because I don't really have that much to say, like beef with the album. But I'll just like this album for me from Jay-Z is a 4.5.
Okay,
I'm gonna tell you why. Also, because it's impressive that at this age he's doing something. It's kind of like LeBron. Like, LeBron is still averaging 28 at this age. So like Jay-Z doing this like at such a high level, right? Like putting this project out, like at at this clip, at his age, like that's unheard of. Most rappers, like, you know, they fall in love, like they're not relevant. Like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't spark this much conversation or attention. And like Jay-Z was still able to do that. So I give him a lot of points for that. The lyricism, he's still sharp. You know, the production, No ID did a great job. And this album was about the lyricism. So that, like, you know, like No ID, like scaled back, you know, the music so that Jay-Z's lyrics can stand out and shine. And I thought that was just very important. So, you know, that's why I give it a 4.5 out of 5. I want to allow myself, if I say it's a classic, then I have to like probably have another conversation about other songs, albums in the discography, and I don't want to do that. So for this album, it's as damn near close to a classic as possible.
Okay. I can agree with that. I think it's a 4. Yeah, I think it's a 4.5 as well. I think with this album, like I said, one of the main things that stood out to me on the re-listen was how forward thinking it was. I think Jay-Z is so good at rehashing his older stories, and making it new because he's such a good, like, quote unquote writer. But, you know, I think the faults on this album are not necessarily on him. You know, I just wanted the production to be lifted more, and that was intentional, you know, so I can't even be mad about it for that. And this was like the best way to address the elephant in the room for him. To talk about what we already were speculating. So it was like, all right, well, let me lean into this. Niggas is nosy anyway. Let me lean into this. Let them know my business a little bit. Let me get into this. So, and I think this was such a good moment for him to shine and for him to be so intentional and kill the moniker of Jay-Z and lean into something else and kind of create a new arc for himself. So, you know, it begs the question of what will be next, right? Because where does he go from here artistically? You know, he could tap into some tabloid fodder. When does he not? How does he stay inspired over the years when you have a successful, world-renowned entertainer as your wife? You know, you have 3 kids. One is in the entertainment business now. What do you talk about? Does this shit even pull at you even more anymore? Like, I would love to hear like his point of view, his perspective, even just an interview, something like just to hear where he's at, you know?
Yeah, man. I wish Elliot Wilson didn't chop up that interview the way that he did. There was a lot of stuff left on the cutting room floor. Elliot
the 444 one?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But even still, that was in 2018. So we're about due for something else.
Oh yeah, we're due. I know Jay's going to very much like control what he says. And
for sure. And what they ask him. And I think that's another thing too. Like, a lot of these places aren't willing to cut out the questions that they want to ask, you know? So, but yeah, that's our rating. I think if you guys haven't listened to 444 in a while, but you know, if you follow us, there's at some point a chance that you may have listened to 444. I just challenge you to give it a re-listen, see how you feel about it in current time, especially with everything going on in his life. And let us know what you think. I'm First Klass Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
And we're out of here.
We'll catch you next time. Dun, dun.